Welcome, everybody, once again. It is fun. It's you. It's us. It's From the Hill Podcast. I'm your guy, Wild Wayne Cartwright. With me is Mr. T. Gooden.
What's up,
and
everybody?
Miss J the Great. What's up, everybody? Y'all doing good this evening?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
How about yourself?
We're good. Living a dream.
I heard that. Well, we got a lot to get to today. So first thing is first, as we always do, few housekeeping things. As you can see across the bottom of the screen, we have all of the handles where you can follow us. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also, please follow us or like us on Facebook and also on Instagram, and follow us on Twitter. Also, during this podcast, please hit that like button, everybody. Hit that like button, like it, love it, like it, love it. Do it often and early and often. Thank you. All right. So we've got a lot to get to today. We've got some special guests joining us. I do want to start off quickly but carefully with a few pieces of information for you. We have our men's basketball team who will be back in action. They went through a little bit of finals week. Just remember, Friday night, they are playing the Lipscomb Bison. Lipscomb is coming down from Nashville, and the game is in Elmore Gymnasium. The reason why the game is in Elmore is because graduation is taking place in the event center, and there's not enough time to change it over into a basketball venue. So that game will be taking place in Elmore Gymnasium Friday night, 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central. You can catch it on the Bulldog Sports Network live streaming with Mr. Chauncey Sanders and Coach Van Pettaway. And also, we've got our women who are in action as well. They're going to be taking on the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles in Cookeville, Tennessee. That action starts Saturday at, I think the game starts at 2 p.m. And it's at Tennessee Tech Saturday afternoon. So make sure you check all of this good information out. All right, so without further delay, let's get into our first guest of the evening. He is none other than Mr. Mo Carter. Welcome, sir.
What's going on, Mo? How you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm doing well. Appreciate y'all for bringing me on. And also, I know a lot of people probably saw I was supposed to be on last week, but due to this thing called severe weather in West and North Alabama, sorry I couldn't be on or whatever. I appreciate you guys and ladies bringing me on a week later.
Well,
good, man.
Mo, your timing is perfect as always, my brother. And we thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. Mr. Mo Carter is the sports director for Fox 54 in Huntsville, Alabama. He is a 2009 graduate of Southern University. Mr. Mo Carter played football at Nicholls State and at Southern. Mr. Mo Carter also is a married man, and he's got a young son who is after his own name, Morrell Carter III. Mr. Mo Carter is also, he's covered some really fun, wonderful events like the BCS and the CFP National Championship games, Super Bowl 47. So, Mr. Morrell Carter, talk to the people. Tell them something else that they need to know about who you are and what you do, sir.
All right. Well, I appreciate all the intros. First and foremost, to add to it, I was born and raised along the bayous of South Louisiana via Napoleonville, Louisiana, down in Assumption Parish. For people wondering where the heck is that? Well, quick answer is tell you it's about an hour south of Baton Rouge, about an hour 15 west of New Orleans. And if you have ever heard of the show Swamp People, where Troy Landry and them are at, the western portion of our parish is where that is actually filmed from. So those guys are actually from the same neck of the woods I am. They just live on the other side of the parish, or for people who are not familiar with Louisiana, the county in that situation. Besides that, like I said, I'm a graduate of Assumption High School, 2004. Unique thing about me from a sports standpoint, clearly, I've done some good things accolade-wise in sports, but I also come from a high school that during a 5-year stretch. We have a guy who won 2 Super Bowls, another guy that won 1 Super Bowl, and a young lady who was an Olympic silver medalist on the U.S. women's volleyball team. I'm talking about Brandon Jacobs with the 2 Super Bowls, Tremont Williams with 1, and Kim Willoughby with the Olympic silver medal with Team USA. So, yeah, when people be like, hey, why are you not in your high school's Hall of Fame or anything for your accolades? I'm like, yeah, I got to fall in line in certain situations, all in all with that. But besides that, my HBCU experience, of course, Southern University graduate. I'm a graduate. My sister's a graduate. I'm actually a 4th-generation college graduate. Of the 4 generations, 3 of the generations graduated from HBCUs. Great-grandparents graduated from what was Straight University in the year 1934. Straight combined with New Orleans University become Dillard in New Orleans. And then my grandfather, he went to Leland College, and he was about 2 years after Eddie Robinson was actually there as well. Leland College, unfortunately, closed down in the early 1960s due to financial issues and whatnot, but there's still memorials out there in the Baker, Baton Rouge area for that. So, but as far as the HBCU experience, I'm definitely been ingrained in it for a very, very, very long time or whatever. And, obviously I take that passion when I do it into my sports stuff. Clearly, I've been in places where HBCU U's are a main per se for my coverage. So it's always a good thing, enjoy covering the teams I've covered through the years, whether it was Southern or Grambling or Bama State, Tuskegee, now Alabama A&M, and even a little Oakwood from time to time too. So that's really the gist of it. Like I said, you mentioned I'm married, just celebrated my 8th year wedding anniversary, and 2 days later, my son, MC3, Morrell Carter III, turned 2. So y'all pray for me for this next 365.
Well, Mo, that's truly impressive, and I want to show our viewers a nice little trip down memory lane, if we would. As you can see, this is young Mr. Carter. This is young Mr. Carter. Young Mr. Carter.
Definitely young, about 15 pounds lighter back in the day, but at the same time, good times, man. Very, very good times from the mid to late 2000s.
That's awesome, man.
Didn't know you were going to dig that one up, but I appreciate you showing the people.
Hey, you got to expect the unexpected sometimes, man.
Absolutely.
So what was the moment that got you, or what was like your biggest inspiration that got you to become a broadcaster and get into journalism?
Okay, so I always think about one moment and I think about an era. I'll go with the era first. So my mother, she was the youth coordinator at our church. Shout out to St. John Baptist Church of Napoleonville, Louisiana. She was a youth coordinator for many, many years. And along with that, it means that when it came to whether Black History Month or Dr. Martin Luther King celebration or Easter or whatever, this guy was probably going to have one of the longest parts or speeches or main roles in it or whatever, not because I was her son, but because she basically brought me up to be like, look, I know you can do this and you're going to make this happen. So, talking in front of crowds, nothing for me or whatever in that situation. So I always kind of look at that era. And then I always think about like this one moment. I had an opportunity to go on a field trip to WWL in New Orleans, Channel 4, and got a chance to kind of check out the television studio, check out this, check out that. And then we had a chance to sit down with Sally Ann Roberts. For people who are not familiar with Sally Ann, she is the older sister of Robin Roberts. Sally Ann just retired from WWL about 2-3 years ago. It was like right before the pandemic. Well, she basically used to have her own version of what, Teen Summit was, or what do you remember? Teen Summit used to be on BET. She used to have her own version of that. So we got a chance to sit down, hang out, talk with her, whatever and stuff. She kind of just showed us like the roles and whatnot through that day. That was kind of like a moment. I was like, okay, I probably could do this. And then maybe about a week later, I was in my speech class and we were just talking about various things. And I'll never forget this young lady named Dodie Pelche, played on the volleyball team. Dodie was like, Mo, has anybody ever told you should be a news anchor? Because like your voice is just so good. We always are loving the way that you're speaking. We love listening to you or whatever. And whether you go with Morrell Carter or if you go with Mo Carter, that's always going to be pretty catchy. And I'm like, that's not a pretty bad situation. And, so I just started kind of looking into it. And then I was like, well, it's time to go to college. started looking at this broadcast journalism stuff and kind of just stuck from there. And, thanks to God through the years for blessing me. And now I'm a 13-year vet in the industry.
Nice.
That is awesome. And here's a nice little comment here to shout out for you. Mo is swag.
Hey, thank you so much, Demetria. Of course, yes, I will come out and straight say I've been it as a student athlete, and also now I'm a professional career. And then, on top of the other things or whatever, I've received a paycheck or two from the SWAC as well for some work. So yeah, you can definitely say.
Right.
T Goody and Jay, go ahead. Y'all got some questions for Mr. Mo?
Yeah, Mo. Recently you've done, some on the air commentary for live sports. Is that something that when you got in broadcasting, that you thought about? Like, how did it come about you doing that recently? I know you've done a couple of games. Like, and is that's something that you want to pursue on a bigger level, going forward?
Well, I'll answer that second question first. If the opportunity ever came up to do it on a weekly basis and the money was paying good, then absolutely, I'll definitely, would love to do that. As far as like my beginnings with it, I kind of dabbled with it a little bit in college, kind of doing some fun work within my classes. But the first real big time opportunity came when I moved to Montgomery, and I was at Alabama News Network. Well, at the time, the station had a good connection with Alabama State. I know y'all don't like to say that school around these parts, so I totally get it or whatever, but I'm telling the story here. So yeah, they had a good connection with Alabama State, and well, that connection was that they would have on-air people from our station do, color work, even some play-by-play work or whatever. So I started doing some color work with Dwayne Lewis, who was the SID at the time or whatever, and then he kind of groomed me to where, like, the next fall, I literally was doing play-by-play for Bama State for both football and then men's and women's basketball. And then the unique thing about that is that for home games, along with games we had, and I say Alabama State had in Texas, primarily Houston, my actual color guy was actually Eddie Robinson Jr. So, that was a pretty sweet treat and deal, whatever, especially when we can reconnect, at a later time. So obviously I had some humble beginnings with it or whatever, but then after some stern talking tos and then going back with it, I'm like, okay, yeah, we can make some things happen or whatever with this. So I was able to do that for 2 years before I was able to move up here. And I was able to do a little bit of that work for Alabama A&M for football during the 2019 season. And yeah, then most recently, I did some ESPN Plus and 3 work for the SIAC. So it's been a fun journey. One thing I will tell people, though, if you want to get into that, first of all, you have to study. You have to study a whole lot. When I'm talking about study, I'm talking about I had to look at film for football games and be like, okay, this person does this tendency, this person does this tendency, because one thing about play-by-play stuff is that you never want to have dead air. And It's always good when you have 2 people with you, but yeah, you still want to set somebody up, or you want to fill that air when that other person that sets you up. So yeah, it's a lot of studying and a lot of just note-taking and whatnot. It's one of those things you just can't go up there and just, rip it off the dome. I wish you could, but you definitely cannot.
Right.
No, Jay, you got a question?
I absolutely do. I have a 2-part question as well. So could you share with us your favorite moment as a player? And could you share with us the favorite moment that you've participated in as a broadcaster?
All right. Favorite moment as a player. Let me ask you this, Jay. Are you looking at high school or are you looking at college?
Either one.
All right. I'll give you a quick high school one real quick. So in high school, so I went to Assumption High School. We were the only high school in the district or whatever. There was no private schools or whatever, but there were 2 private schools in opposite directions of us where a lot of people from our parish actually went to or whatever. And the funny thing is, I went to an actual feeder school for one of those schools for about 7 years before I switched over to the public school. Well, that school was E.D. White. And my senior year, E.D. White was rolling in. It was like the number 2 team in the state or whatever. In Class 3A, we were like number 7 or number 8. And I'll never forget, like, getting getting on message boards or whatever. It's like how far we go back, high school club type stuff. And people were like hopping on over to, oh, yeah, hey, we was cool back in the day, but we're going to beat y'all tail or whatever and stuff. And I'm like, man, y'all trip out or whatever, because we're gonna make these things happen. And clearly they jumped out to a 14-3 lead, and then somehow, some way, we made a valiant comeback, and then they had a chance to kick a game-winning field goal, and I was actually able to block the field goal for the game winner. And of course, that was like probably one of the biggest wins we had during my career or whatever. And when I say that during my portion of my career, that does not include one Brandon Jacobs. I'm just going to go ahead and just say it like that, because good God almighty, that guy was just unstoppable in high school. It was just cool to be a teammate of his in that situation. So that was definitely my high school. My top college one as a player, I probably got to go with the 2007 Bayou Classic. And reason being is that, unfortunately, we, even though we had lost, we had lost 2 games earlier that year or whatever, so unfortunately we were out of the SWAC championship race or whatever, but clearly we were getting down to Bayou Classic, and just like Magic City Classic, you draw all the records out or whatever. Grambling had already secured the Western Division title or whatever, but I remember Coach Pete Richardson telling us, like, yeah, so what if they secured the title, they still ain't beat us or whatever. And and I'll never forget, like, just thinking to myself, like, dang, he's right. They ain't beat us or whatever. And, they came out, they talked all this noise during the press conference. And even Doug Williams was like up there or whatever, talking about, hey, I may not be the coach or whatever, but I'm still a Grambling man through and through. And we just sitting there like, man, we got y'all or whatever. Well, we came out and we beat them. And I'll never forget, the coolest thing at the end was my teammate Effie Osas-Wimsey, who was an FCS All-American that year, but he got benched going into that game because he just had a bad practice week. And all the DBs, rallied around him or whatever, stuff like, hey, man, you're going to get in the game. You're going to do something. Well, on basically the final drive that put the nail in the coffin, he got a pick and basically got it down to like the 2-yard line. We ran out the clock and like all the DBs ran over to him or whatever. And we was like hugging him and whatnot. I'm surprised he didn't get hurt because we basically almost dogpiled that dude. But yeah, that was definitely one of the best moments, just beating Grambling, because I think that really was a mind trick on Grambling, because the next week they went to the SWAC championship game and they lost to Rick Comagee and Jackson State. So yeah, definitely one of my true highlights I can remember as a player for sure. There are a lot of ones, but that one for sure sticks out to it. Plus, at the time, that was also my last Bayou Classic victory, because unfortunately we failed my senior year.
Well, those are some really, really cool highlights, man. That's really, really cool. So while we have you on here, I do need to ask you about your feelings about this gentleman. And for those that are tuning in, we will be talking about this at the end of the show. But for right now, Mr. Mo Carter, the floor is yours to talk about your feelings briefly about Mr. Prime.
Well, clearly, there's my feelings as a professional. There are my feelings as a SWAC fan or whatever. But I'm just going to keep it just straight down the line. I mean, at the end of the day, Deion Sanders decided to do what was best for him and his family, really, in that situation. I mean, I put it in the equivalent of, if SportsCenter comes to me tomorrow and they're like, hey, we want you to replace Stan Verrett out there at ESPN LA or whatever, I'm probably taking that 9 times out of 10, probably 9.9 times out of 10 in that situation. So, he saw a situation that was just better for him and whatnot. I mean, granted, are you going to lose some eyeballs from the SWAC? More than likely or whatever from that situation. I also will say this clearly. There are people out there that are what you would say new SWAC fans that are very, very upset about this, and they're just going to be upset. So be it. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't knock him for what he was able to come into the situation at Jackson State, which a lot of people do not remember. Jackson State was not that good before he actually got there in that situation. They had been in the cellar really since the mid 2010s. I know it kind of went downhill after they lost that SWAC championship in overtime in 2013. So, he was able to come. He was able to elevate that program, win a SWAC title last year, win one this year, and now he's got them in back-to-back Celebration Bowls. And, they got some money or whatever from that situation. But as far as Coach Sanders himself, hey, he had to make it happen, make some things move. I will say this one thing, and I have to kind of walk a fine line with this, though. You remember the narrative about Coach Sanders wants to be the savior of HBCUs and the savior of the SWAC. Well, remember when he went into his press conference, he said, God sent him to Jackson State to do some good things. Bomani Jones said it best. He was like, so did God turn around and tell you to go and take a P5 job after that? I mean, that's one thing that kind of makes you go, in that situation. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, Coach Sanders is going to do what he's going to do. He's going to head over to Colorado. You want to wish him the best situation. But I feel like this. He did what he needed to do or whatever. But us as SWAC fans, we need to move forward. We need to continue to support our own schools that we have within the Southwestern Athletic Conference. And also, let's continue to support our commissioner, Dr. Charles McClellan, who has been making all kinds of strides to make things happen, even for Deion to elevate himself or whatever. It was the work of Charles McClellan that actually kind of made a lot of that stuff really go and be fruitful when you really think about it. So, yeah, moving forward with that, let's just continue to support our people and support our conference, and could see some pretty good things coming up. I've kind of heard some stuff. I don't really want to throw that out there or whatever, because technically it's more so, it's not so much hearsay, but there are some agenda things that could be in the positive light for the SWAC coming up. It's just a matter of, will the presidents and the athletic directors move forward with it in a full agreement of things. So be on the lookout for that for sure.
Well, awesome. Well, I do want to get you out of here with this one question.
Okay.
Can you tell us a time where you had a blooper on air?
Okay. What's funny about that is that I've actually had, a handful or two. You may not notice it at home because I'm able to flip the script real quick and make some things happen. But I can tell you there's two for sure. There's one where, you just kind of let somebody else, write a script and you don't really technically go over it before you actually hop on set because of timing. And I'll never forget, somebody wrote something about parameters, and clearly I did not read over this or whatever. And I went on there and I said parameters, just straight up, just like that. Because I mean, hey, it does look like parameters, instead of parameters. Now, a on-air video thing, there's one that always just sticks out to me. So they were getting ready to do, sports is before the last segment, which is the kicker, fun story or whatever to get everybody out of the newscast. Well, the director accidentally hit the button or whatever and started running something from the kicker. Well, the kicker was something about like a runaway llama or something. And I'm on air and I'm talking about whatever I'm talking about or whatever. And then all of a sudden you just see a huge llama just show up in the back on the monitor. I'm trying to keep it cool. And all of a sudden just like, all right, I'm sorry, y'all, but this llama is just throwing me off or whatever. I'm like, okay, wait, let's kind of get it together. And then like I look back at him like, nope. I'm like, how about this? Let's just go ahead and just go to this break and we're going to come back and talk about this llama. And I mean, I had to make fun of it in that situation. And sure enough, when we came back, they introduced like, well, Mo already gave you a tease. Let's talk about this runaway llama, in which a llama had like ran away from like a zoo or something and went through the streets, and like all the security cams and traffic cams and all that, they like caught it. So we're just talking about, hey, and there it goes there it goes into a clothing store, and I was trying to get some food and things about that nature. But that one definitely stood out because I just could not keep composure at all.
Well, Mo, this was great, man. I'm so thankful that you took the time to join us this evening. And go ahead.
Just wanted to say this, Mo, I do thank you for even just inspiring me to, do this, because one little thing, my first SWAC media day, Mo allowed me to shadow him. And so I got to see him work and all of the work that he puts in. Let me tell y'all, Mo is one of the hardest. I say this all the time, but Mo is literally one of the hardest working people, especially not just SWAC broadcasting, but broadcasting, period. So I do want to give you your flowers, and I do thank you for, giving me that opportunity. So I really appreciate you. And I want to make sure that I let you know that I appreciate all that you do, not only for A&M, but the SWAC as a whole.
I appreciate that, Jen. I really, really do. Also, in return, I want to thank people like you and T. Gooden and Wayne for like when it comes to posts in these SWAC groups or whatever, for actually like speaking facts and not just talking off the top of your head. I do appreciate that, y'all, because like, don't get me wrong, like me and guys like BJ Jones, we might be about to lose our mind when some folks just start posting things or whatever. But you know, I can, especially when it comes to like A&M or something from the SWAC office or whatever, I know I can always count on one of you three to like actually hit up one of those first comments and be like, okay, well, you know, if I have to come in, I'm like, hey, you know, following up to what such and such said or piggybacking off of what such and such said. So I do appreciate y'all for having the knowledge and not just getting on there and just saying some random things that just make no sense. But then all of a sudden people's narratives go a whole nother way because they think it's true when clearly it is not.
Right. Well, Mo, hey, you're welcome. And also you can catch Mo on Fox 54. He is dynamic. Definitely, you can see the passion, and you know, continue to support this brother. He has his Twitter handle right there at Mo Carter Fox 54. Mo Carter, you definitely need to come back and join us again, my brother.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. Probably maybe once we get into like the thick of basketball season, we could probably like kind of give you some updates on how things are going when it comes to, you know, SWAC basketball, especially with A&M under Coach Richards and also Coach Hughley. And now I do find it interesting that we had that farewell for Elmore, and all of a sudden we're going back to Elmore.
We're playing there Friday night. Yeah,
I understand logistics.
Tell me about it.
in certain situations or whatever.
It's a farewell.
Yeah, the true farewell. And look, actually, I'll tell y'all this. Bulldog fans, y'all might definitely want to get out there and support the team, and here's why. Lipscomb's head coach is Lenny Acuff. For anyone that's familiar with Huntsville City area basketball, Lenny Acuff, longtime basketball coach at UAH, he's still got a lot of fans here. I would not be surprised if just people who show up, you know, just for basketball are there to support Coach Acuff in his efforts as well. So another reason why Bulldog fans need to definitely hop there on Friday night and support the team because, hey, you know, you might have some UAH fans that may straggle in there to go ahead and support Coach Acuff in that situation. So another reason why you need to definitely hit the basketball court on Friday.
Yes, indeed. Well, Mo, thank you so much, my brother. And we will see you definitely again on these airwaves.
All right. Sounds good. You guys have a great evening. Take care. And, you know, love what you guys are doing. I got a chance to see all the other episodes. So definitely was happy to hop on there. And we'll definitely look forward to working together and do some other things.
Yes, sir. Right. All right. Now,
thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Off he goes. Mo Carter, everybody. So, Mo Carter, he definitely brought that knowledge for everybody. And we are going to transition into our next portion of the show.
Yes.
So Mr. T. Gooden, are you ready for our next guest?
Definitely ready, man. Definitely ready for our guest.
All right.
Wonderful people.
Well, here they come. Ready or not, here they come.
What's up, Bulldogs? How y'all doing?
Hello.
Good, man. How you doing?
Man,
well,
I like that sweater, David. I like that sweater, brother. I never seen that.
Try to do a little something. You know, got to be presentable.
Well, everybody that's joining, before we go on, just want to make sure that everybody hits that like button. And also those that are probably joining us for the very first time, you can see on the bottom of the screen, we've got all of our handles where you can follow us. And, you know, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. So with us right now, we got Miss Tiffany Jones, Mr. Joe Merkerson, Mr. Quentin Carter, and Mr. David Thomas.
What's going on, everybody?
Starting with Miss Tiffany Jones to Joe to Quentin and then to David, please introduce yourselves.
My name is Tiffany Jones. I am a class of 2010 graduate with a marketing degree. I currently serve as member at large for the National Alumni Association, and I was former vice president of the Metro Atlanta chapter for the term 2020 and 2021.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Joseph Merkerson. I am a 2009 and 2011 graduate of Alabama A&M in mechanical engineering and material engineering. I hold the office of the Council of Presidents Chairman, also co-chair for the Communication Committee, and the president of the Dallas-Fort Worth Alumni Chapter. I'm also on the executive board for the Band Boosters. So I hold a couple of titles for the love of Alabama A&M.
All right, Mr. Carter.
All right, I'm Quentin Carter, class of 2003, degree in Management Information Systems. I've held several positions, working actually right now on a big scholarship initiative with the Birmingham Alumni Chapter. So I'll be calling on you all for that support as well. So glad to be here, man. Y'all know I love everything about A&M. I think everybody that knows me know I love this place, what it means to me and what it's done for me. So I'm glad to be here and glad for the opportunity to serve with y'all.
He makes great shirts too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he does. Mr. Thomas.
All right. Good evening, Bulldog Nation. My name is David Thomas. I am a 2009 graduate of Alabama A&M University, majored in political science. I am currently residing in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I am the vice president of the Alabama A&M Queen City Alumni Chapter.
All right. And as you can see, we got plenty of love coming out here. Say, I see you, Bulldogs. Hey, fellow Bulldogs. Quentin, look at your shout out. There you go. Hey, look at ATL in the house.
We're gonna tell the people that these people are gonna be here every week so we can get comments and views. Man. Y'all are the popular people, so y'all are permanent guests now.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. So
man.
all right. So T Gooden, man, let's get this thing rolling, boy.
Yeah, so all of you guys, we got Atlanta represented, Charlotte represented, Birmingham represented, Dallas represented. All you guys are actively involved in your alumni associations. So tell us, you can go in the order that you choose. So tell us what can people do in your city and nationally to be involved with the Alabama A&M local and national alumni association?
I'll go first. Yeah, I was about to say become members, please. Become members. I know that when I joined, I think about maybe 4 years ago, I was actually talking to a friend about it. Actually, Russell talked me into joining, and at first it was like, I don't know if I have time, but like here I am years later, still serving at the local level and the national level. We came here to just inform, prospective members or prospective alumni members that even if you graduated, if you didn't graduate, you can still join and help out. And while we appreciate all the turnouts for our, amazing events, I know Charlotte has great events, Birmingham has great events, Queen City has great events. We also need your membership so that we can continue to do events like that. So that's the number one thing you could do to help. And also we accept donations as well in your absence. So.
What I'll add to that, of course, to echo her sentiments, I just really want us to, when we join the chapters, to remain in the chapters. Mm-hmm. We have people that join, and sometimes if something don't go their way, they're gone with the wind. Just stay and remain and present your ideas and just stand strong. You can't just run away all the time, and that's what we encounter a lot. But I'm thankful for the chapter here. We're growing. We have a lot of younger members. We have some great initiatives going on. So we welcome everybody, but we want you to stay. We don't want you to just come and come in and classic. You hype. I'm a diehard Bulldog. I'm joining the Alumni Association. And then 3 months later, we don't see you, So those things, we're trying to keep people and retain the members and stay and make things exciting so people will want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And let me also add that, not only joining the Alabama A&M Alumni Association, but also get involved, with the committees. We have almost over 10 committees. And so, using your talent, maybe you're really good at technology. Maybe you're good at, hosting and being on the hospitality, or maybe just, being present for, some of the other committees, anything that you can lend your talent for is greatly appreciated. Remember, this is not just a one person trying to do everything. We're all a team. We're all alumni trying to, better our university and our alumni association.
Definitely agree with everything everybody has said. And Joe, you took exactly what I was about to say. But to add to that, being part of the alumni chapter is a great rewarding experience because you're like a double ambassador for the university, right? One, you're an ambassador already because you're a graduate from the university. And now you become a member of the Alumni Association. And with that, there are college fairs, that they look for alumni chapters to participate because all the time the university itself can't make it to these different college fairs. And so for me personally, when we participate in college fairs, it's a very rewarding experience to see so many kids really interested in your institution. You get to share, your personal experiences with the institution as well. So you're a double ambassador for the university. And again, it's just a rewarding experience.
So my next question is, all of us pretty much same generation people, right? And you guys go to the alumni meetings and, I go to the alumni meetings and members of the Alumni Association whole, they're typically older than us and we don't see any people our age. So why would a person our age join now versus waiting till later? Why would they do that? Tell what's in it for people our age to be a member of the Alumni Association?
Go, Tiffany, go ahead.
I'll say my personal experience, my network has grown exponentially. Not even within my own local chapter, but within the national chapter, and collaborating and working with chapters across the country. You get different opportunities, like job opportunities. If you know somebody, or you're looking for a certain niche or anything like that, like A&M A&M alumni, we have it. I had those same sentiments when I first joined. I was kind of thinking that it was a lot of older people. Maybe my voice won't be heard, or, maybe, there's some type of tier level that, your suggestions won't be heard, but that is definitely not true. The established members in and most of our chapters are looking for millennial students and kind of like those newer I guess Gen Z people, because we're becoming the older people now. I as much as I hate to say it, and I never want to grow old, but millennials, we are at that stage where we are bringing that new class up. Not only do they expect us to have ideas, but our ideas are very much heard. Like, for example, a lot of the millennial members or millennial alumni members, we got together and we attend HBCU night at the Brave Stadium. We have, in January we have a Hawks vs. Charlotte game where we all get together and we have block seats and we make those available to alumni and friends of alumni. We have new ideas and we have strategies and we have, exciting things to bring to not only the local chapter, but the opportunity to give back to the university. So that's been my experience so far, and I've really, really enjoyed it.
I would say
I think Tiffany.
Go ahead, Dave.
Well, I'm just gonna say I think Tiffany hit it right on the head. It's the opportunity to make change, right? So again, a lot of times we hear that, it's a lot of older people in the chapter. They don't do this, and they don't do that. Well, here's your opportunity to usher in something new. So I think that's the biggest part of it. It's the opportunity now to join.
And just to add to it, I think it's a mindset. You have to come to the alumni chapter. Well, what can I do for the chapter versus what can the chapter do for me? So Absolutely. That's what changed my whole, the whole objective for me with the chapter. I'm like, I was one initially when I first went, to the Birmingham chapter. It was more seasoned alums, and for lack of better terms.
We're a little seasoned now.
Right.
Yeah.
What can I do? What can I do to help and make forth a better effort to grow the chapter? So when I started thinking like that and stopped being in my ways about, okay, I'm the youngest person in here and things like that, it became exciting. I love, working with them. I enjoy when we have an event. I like seeing them out in the city. Because Birmingham, as we know, is A&M.
Yeah.
Where you go here, you're gonna bump into alums in the city. So it's just like I said, it's a mindset. I mean, think about what you can do for the chapter first before what the chapter can do for you, and then of course the rest is history.
Yeah, and I have a little bit of different perspective on things. You know, my mom and dad, both alumni of Alabama A&M. I grew up in the Birmingham chapter, attending meetings as a little kid. And, you know, I always feel like that family feel, you know, when I attend the meetings. You know, of course, you know, business as usual. But, you know, coming in as a young alumni, I was a part of I've been a part of 3 chapters so far. So, you know, of course, Birmingham chapter, but also the Indianapolis chapter. You know, when I moved out there, you know, a lot of seasoned alumni was, you know, very welcoming, and they encouraged us to be, you know, participating in some of the events out there in Indianapolis chapter with, you know, the Circle City Classic, you know, and a couple of other college fairs. And then when I moved here to Dallas Fort Worth, you know, it was nothing but love and opportunity out here, especially with networking, as Tiffany stated. You know, so, you know, when you come into the chapter, you know, you want to see what can you, you know, not just get out of it, but what can you do to support your university and your alumni association. You know, and sometimes with me, it's about my talent, you know, as far as giving back and supporting, you know, the greater cause.
Good. So my next thing is talk to us about student recruiting. I know it works in Charlotte, maybe different from what works in Atlanta and what works in Dallas. So what does the association or you guys personally do in your city to help recruit students to come to Alabama A&M?
Well, I can say this one. So with our alumni, with the Dallas Fort Worth chapter, we have like a process that we do. First, you know, if there's any college fairs that we know about, we first contact the university, see if they can support, get somebody out to our area to, you know, be that recruiter for our university. Because why? Because they have the firsthand knowledge, they have a scholarship offer, and then also they, you know what's the updated information about what's going on with the university. And then if they can't come out to support, you know, we do request, you know, some type of resources, maybe it's pamphlets that we usually always have on hand. But then, you know, we try, you know, within our committee, we actually have a recruiting committee that goes out to the various schools. And, you know, if the organizations are having a college fairs or something, you know, we have somebody that can commit to be at that college fair.
Yeah, the Atlanta chapter, we usually do the college fairs, and we do have certain members go out to college fairs. But one of our biggest events is what we have, the high school senior day, where we do send out invitations and forms to or permission slips, so to say, to travel by bus to Alabama A&M for a whole Saturday. They attend a game. They really kind of get the feel of that HBCU life. And we also, for those students who end up attending Alabama A&M, we also have a freshman send-off where we have care packages right before they attend Alabama A&M, along with contact information if they need to reach out to us, or if you're having trouble navigating your way through school. We all know Patton Hall, financial aid, all that crazy stuff that we went through as we were freshmen. We provide those resources too, to kind of just, you know, hold somebody's hand and kind of let them know that we're there going through them with the process. So it's more, you know, more about that relationship building as well as recruiting.
So I want to take a quick step back here, and I want to put something I had on the screen earlier. And I want you guys to just kind of briefly touch this again, because there are some people who are probably just now joining or didn't catch it the first time. So this is good stuff about how alumni can help, how you can become a member.
Yep, and all of this is on AAMUalumni.org under the membership tab.
All right, and then the other thing I want to do, go ahead, Quentin, go ahead.
Do this, you know, we have actually associate members, you know, people, parents, who have children at A&M. They can join for, you know, a lesser amount too. So bring your parents if they want to support the school in that, and from that standpoint, they also can.
Yep.
That's right.
Your spouses, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, whoever. Have everybody join us.
Even if you just like us a whole lot.
Right.
Just join just to join.
That's right. And then also there was a comment here that about that supports what Tiffany was talking about Atlanta Hawks game. So this is talking about only 21 seats left. So you definitely want to be apprised of that. Go ahead, Tiff. You got that?
Yeah, I was gonna say we do have a block section of seats reserved for the A&M purchase. There should be a link, or we can definitely send you a link to purchase ticket section for the Atlanta Hawks versus Charlotte Hornets game on January 21st.
That's really good stuff. And also to all of our viewers, if you do have questions, as you can see, we are going through the chat. So if you have questions, we'll put them up on the screen, and our panel, they'll be able to address your questions here in real time. Something else I want to get everybody else's take on. Oh, Lord Jesus.
Now, if you want to plead the fifth, you can plead the fifth if you don't want to incriminate yourself.
Well, I'm gonna give them just a little bit of extra time to think about their answers, because I'm gonna explain what this Bridge Builder Classic is. All right, just so everybody knows, it's a 6-year deal, and as you can see the payment parameters: $100,000 to the school when it would be your home game. Now, there's a lot of misconceptions that came out when this was issued about, A&M will never be able to play Alabama State at home. That's a lie, a lie, a lie. It's right here, everybody. A&M's home game, unfortunately, is going to the Mitchell Center down in Mobile on January the 16th. So the very first opportunity that we will get to see that other team from down the road in our brand spanking new house will be in 2024. So you can see through this 6-year contract, you can see who is the home team in each of these years. And just remember, both teams play home and home each year. So if it's not in Huntsville, it'll be in Montgomery and vice versa. Now, back to the panel. Your time is up. Look at y'all. Look at y'all.
I would just like to say that I support our student athletes, and I trust leadership to make the best decisions in the best interest of the university.
She's so political.
So PC. So PC.
My answer.
Okay. Here's one that'll help you out. Here's Demetria. Here's what'll help you out. There you go. It's all right to say it. Do you feel like it? Go ahead and say it loud and proud.
For me, I mean, it's a whole lot I want to say, but I mean, I'm gonna reel it in. But I was, for one, really excited. Alabama State's claim to fame has been that Acadome for years. And they've all talked about, how, that nice facility, and look at what we have now, and we can't even play them in our brand new arena. It just opened, and we can't play them. So that was one of the biggest things for me, along with a lot of other stuff that I'll, plead the fifth on. But I was ready to show it off. That was my excitement. I'm like, okay, I can't wait till they come here and see what we've done, and everything that's going on campus, because they had so much to say about Elmore versus the Acadome. When we were playing back and forth, and now look at what we have. I mean, it puts the Acadome to shame, and we can't even show it to them. So,
it killed the excitement. Just like Quentin said, it killed the excitement because, like you said, everybody was just so excited. Yes, we get to show this thing off. Finally, it's done. Coming down the Parkway, you see these bright lights. Everybody coming, you see that big A&M logo at the top. Everybody's gonna be seeing it. But now, we can't. At least not for this first home opener. So not the first home opener, but that big game, that big rivalry game. We wanted that to kind of be like, I can't find the word for it, but that was the
moment.
Yes, that was it.
Look at that.
It's like that. Yeah, I remember that scene of Martin when he was doing the flashback for their radio show when him and Gina first met, and he came in as like Dolomite. He kicked the door in with the platform shoes. I was like, I was supposed to be us right there for that game. But as Tiffany stated, I trust the leadership.
Oh man,
Thank you,
Joe, I know you ain't gonna go out like that, Joe.
You know what? I'll say this two different ways. So as a fan, as the love of my university, I was disappointed without, because I didn't know all the facts. I didn't know all the what communication was going on. I really, just like Quentin Carter said, I really wanted, that game to be at our brand spanking new event center. We was looking at that moment. We still can look for that moment, with the other games that's going to be played there, but now, we have a little bit more information that's being put out. I guess as Tiffany said, also, I trust our university. I trust those in charge. The big thing is the communication part of it. I wish, as alumni, we would, we would have known a little bit ahead of time, and that's the opportunity that I feel like it's now coming out, but I wish it kind of came out sooner. But again, I trust our university. I trust our leadership. And at the end of the day, we have to support our student athletes, these basketball players who are going to go out there, to Mobile or wherever the event is. And we got to, support our team like we need to be doing at every sports event. So that's how I feel. And then as the Alumni Association, we are working things, so more to come. I'm excited for this year.
And this I'm gonna stick beside you. That's all I got to say.
y'all, if y'all saw us last week, I said I had to keep this thing very PG because I had a few things that I really felt like saying off the air, so I didn't want to bring it to the air, but I just wanted to just get y'all take on it because we're alumni and we share similar feelings and similar values. So okay, moving.
The
Go
big
ahead.
Disappointment with that, sorry, Wayne. The big disappointment with that is the students.
Yes,
the students. They won't be able to get that experience. At our new event center, they have to travel however many hours it is away, to Mobile for that big rivalry game. So that's what I really feel for the students in that scenario.
Yeah, and I want to add to that before we move on. Like, for the love of God, next year don't have the game on a Monday. Obviously, we can't do anything about it. As a contract it's there now. We just got to support. But don't schedule the game on a Monday. Like, at least give people the opportunity to go now if they want to. This game is on a Monday. I don't see people traveling to Mobile on a Monday to go to work on Tuesday, specifically the students, because it's not going to be a pass. Hey, why weren't you in class? Because I was in Mobile at the game. That's not going to work. So let's not have it on a Monday next year.
Yeah. That's a 6 hour drive almost from Huntsville. So
that's right. That's right. So I wanna shift back one more time here now, because now that I done put y'all on the spot, made your blood pressure get up a little bit. Even though y'all sitting there a little bit stationary, I know y'all blood pressure went up a little bit. I know y'all stuff about 180 over 120 right now, but that's all right. I'm gonna bring y'all down. Wild Wayne gonna bring y'all down. All right. I'm gonna bring y'all down. And this is what I want y'all to do in this last piece here. All right. We do something where we have freestyle every single show. Okay. And in this freestyle, basically, no, it's not rapping. Look at Tiffany looking at me like, no, we ain't talking about freestyle rapping. What we're talking about is we have a freestyle subject. Okay. And with our freestyle subject, it's just anything that we want to discuss and just go for it. So the freestyle topic that I came up with is hilarious things that happened while you were on the yard.
Somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start with you first. We'll start with you first, Tiffany. You about to talk with your turn first, Tiffany.
Me? Okay. Hilarious. I remember, I think freshman year, everybody was getting ready for this certain organization's party where I think the less you wore, the less you had to pay to get in.
I know the name of that one.
And there were young ladies leaving dorms wearing only saran wrap.
Wow.
And I don't think it was that cold. It might have been hot because there was a lot of sweat coming, And it seemed like they had a lot of trouble getting in the car. So I think that was fun.
Wow.
Oh, I love that, man. That's crazy. Woo,
I forget the organization though. It's so long ago.
Of course.
If that organization is watching, they like, please change the subject to the next person. Okay. All right, David.
I got nothing. I can't think of anything. I got nothing at all. Like my mind is blank. I can't think of any funny moments. And I'm pretty sure there are a lot. I was in a van. I was in, house arrest. The dance team. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of them. And I just can't think of any of them right now.
Look, more people confessing right here. Caution tape.
That might have been the same party. I think that might have been the same.
Hey, David, this is what somebody think about what you're saying.
Lies. I promise.
David has a severe case of amnesia all of a sudden.
Okay, well, while David's thinking about it, go ahead, Merkerson.
All right, let's see. This is probably a very embarrassing moment than funny, but I'd never forget. This is probably my senior year in college, and the band actually had a banquet that was held at the New School of Business or something like that. But the athletics team had their banquet at the Ernest Night Center. And so I got my locations mixed up. And so I went to the Ernest Night Center and, and like stood around trying to find out where to sit at. And then they was like getting the front table. So I walked all the way to the front, and it was just embarrassing for me. And so I found out the right location. So I keep it at that.
Okay. All right, Mr. Carter.
Oh man, I'm almost like David. I really can't think of anything. I'm really drawing a blank. Honestly, I can't think of.
Yeah, I
seriously can't think of. I mean, it's tons of them. I guess one. We had a real big balloon fight. The guy's side water balloon fight. The guy's side against the girl's side, and some of the girls from the West came over to the guy's side, trying to pretty much hem us up with water balloons, and we caught them all. We got them in a car, and we just loaded the water balloons, loaded them up. The car soaking wet, the hair was wet and everything like that. I mean, that was a real funny moment. But I really don't have anything else that I could think of.
Well, hey, y'all did all right. Y'all did all right in the freestyle segment. David, we'll get you up the road. We'll get you up the road.
Yeah, on another show. We'll
get you up the road.
Hey, real quick, let me get a special quick shout out to David. Y'all don't see David on here every Tuesday like us. David does like the graphics and stuff like that for us. The pictures that you see of y'all. David does all that stuff. That's what he does. So shout out to David. He is from the Hill podcast crew as well. David hooks all that stuff up for. So big shout out to him. He's always working behind the scenes. I probably hit him up like 5 times yesterday because when we shared the link, the original promo, Tiffany wasn't in it. So she messaged me privately. So I'm not in there too. So that's why I said, hey, we got to edit this.
That's not what happened. That's not what happened. He told me he was responsible for not adding.
You see, it got done.
Oh, it was you.
Hey, Tiff, give me credit. Give me credit because I'm the one that did the voiceover. Did you see? I always make sure the lady goes first.
Thank you so much, Wayne.
I was walking through the airport making the updates.
But yeah, David definitely. I appreciate David too because I can't do what I do without David. Because switching back and forth to these screens and just keeping the show on par with T Gooden and also with Corey who's not here, and we can't do what we do without you. So big shout out to David, and also just a big shout out to the four of y'all for coming on here, and
Absolutely.
Just all the work that you guys are doing. I know that Alumni Affairs can be a thankless job. Definitely know it can be a thankless job. But when you love the great organization or the great university that is Alabama A&M, there's just a lot of stuff that we'll do. We'll lay it on the line every day. So, this will not be the last time. I don't care what you say. This will not be the last time that y'all will join us on this show, because we definitely gonna have y'all on in the future, because Alumni Affairs is not just for today, it's every day.
Mm-hmm.
And we definitely gonna need y'all to be part of this movement that we're doing. So we thank y'all so greatly. Any last words before we move forward? Any one of you?
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
I'll just say, to the whole cast, I really appreciate you guys inviting us on, letting us have our voice, within this platform of, From the Hill podcast. We need more things like this to broadcast the good things that's going on within our Alumni Association and the university and with athletics. So we appreciate you. I also play a separate role with the band boosters. And so we are still raising money for the Macy's. So if anyone want to donate, please go to the Give site.
Yes, indeed.
I want to shout out to you guys. Man, I applaud what you're doing. This is major. Wayne and T Gooden, y'all be in those forums, and y'all be speaking on behalf of the university for the football team, and y'all be speaking back. So everybody else be assuming things that are going on, don't know what's going on, hadn't been to an alumni meeting or anything, and you guys are just bringing it right on back in, and I just be like, it'd be like a gut punch. I'd be like, yes, he said it. I didn't have to say it, So,
yeah, well, you make sure you tune in to what we getting ready to say in this last segment when y'all off the screen, because we got to get back to that Mr. Prime, y'all. Yeah. So I thank y'all. So God bless y'all, and we will see you next time.
Thank you guys so much, man. Really appreciate it.
And off they go. And Miss J the Great, you're back with us as well.
Awesome. That was an excellent segment. Excellent.
Yeah, it was. Loved it.
Yeah, and so I don't want to delay the time. I've got stuff that I want to say, and I know folk in the comments know that they got stuff that they want to say about it. So what we want you to do, I know it's been kind of beaten to death, but I'm going to say this one time, and this one time only. We're going to talk about this man right now, and that will be all.
That's it.
We ain't talking about this man not another day. People been talking about him on social media for 3 days now. And folk just continue to make another post and another soliloquy and on top of another soliloquy. And we ain't about to do it no more. So I'm going to let Miss J the Great, you say what you got to say, then T Gooden, and then I'm going to come and finish it off. And we're going to address some of y'all comments as we do this. Miss J the Great, the floor is yours.
All right. So, let me start off by saying I saw a comment saying who was swag. Well, I'm swag. I'm still swag today, and I'll still be swag tomorrow, and I was swag last week. So let me just get that out there. I do want to say this. As a lover of the game of football, period, I do wish him well in his new role. You know, being a black man in coaching Power 5 football, it's not going to be easy.
Bluetooth
But I do
disconnected.
think that especially for, what he's doing, the people he's surrounding himself with, I think, he's going to be pretty successful and bring Colorado back to that early 90s popularity that they had with Cordell Stewart and guys, of that caliber. Now that I got that out the way, I do have mixed feelings about it. Now, do I think that he done some great things for Jackson State? Absolutely. Has he done some great things for the SWAC? Kind of have to have a an idea, like what. Well, when Jackson State played A&M in spring game, we were all bumped up to the main, like I said, the big ESPN, not ESPN the Ocho, but big ESPN. And so we had a victory, and we got that victory on big ESPN. So I will, that's one thing I can, give him kudos for that, because his reputation caused that game to be bumped up. Now, there are some things I strongly disagree with him. Won't get into all of that, but it was several things I strongly disagree with him. And one of the biggest things is that him leaving was like the worst kept secret in the SWAC. A lot of us knew weeks ago. So that's fine. Of course, nobody's turning down $5 million. We already know what it is. But I do think that he could have left a little better than the manner that he did. I'm a firm believer in doing things decently and in order. And I think he did. I'm just like, did you have to catch the flight right after the trophy presentation? Could you have waited, at least had, take a few pictures with your team with a trophy at the stadium, So again, wish him well. Could have ended a little neater for me. But yeah. D said, did I saw that comment, do I wish Jackson State well? I love all HBCUs. You can take it from here, T. Gooden.
All right. So the first thing I want to say, we have to stop saying that people are haters because they say something about Deion Sanders. Let's start right there first.
Yes,
because that's all people say. You just hating, y'all just hating, you just mad because he beat A&M. Well, no, I'm not. It's not that to me. My thing is, like, nobody is gonna turn down an over 1,000% salary increase. $300,000 a year to $5 million a year, no brainer. You got to take it. But my thing is, do this like everybody else does. Nobody asked Deion Primetime Sanders to come to the SWAC and say, after George Floyd got killed, God told me I need to go change the direction of SWAC football and HBCU. Nobody asked him to do that. Nobody asked him to go tell Travis Hunter, like, hey, I need you to come to Jackson State over FSU so we can start a movement. Nobody asked him to do that. When he was going to apply to those schools prior to Jackson State, he didn't meet the requirements because he didn't have a degree.
That's right.
Jackson State said, hey, we'll give you the job. Go get a degree. He got a degree from Talladega College. Cool. That's what Jackson State did for him. So all that, my only issue is, don't come in here like the savior and tell he likes to call them our babies. Don't tell our babies don't go to these Power 5 schools. They need to stay with their people. And then you go to the Power 5 school and take the people that you said need to go to HBCU.
Mm-hmm.
That's my problem, man. And people will say, you know, he held his end of the bargain. He brought notoriety to Jackson State. Yes, he did do that. Jackson State has a nice facility that Mr. Sanders can't take away. They have a nice practice field that he can't take away. They have nice uniforms that he can't take away. So they're going to benefit from him being there after the fact. Again, my only problem is what he said prior. The other thing is people love to say, you know, he did this for HBCUs and this. My rebuttal is always I got friends most in Alabama for obvious reason. My rebuttal is go ask your friends from Alabama State, Tuskegee, Miles, what did Deion Sanders do for them? And they would tell you zero. Because you know what I'm gonna tell you. We hadn't got a check yet that said from Deion Sanders or Jackson State. So the notion that he did a lot for HBCUs or he did a lot for SWAC is false. He doesn't have to either. He's a coach for Jackson State. Like Nick Saban doesn't do nothing for SEC. Everything he does benefits Alabama. So let's not have that, you know, he did a lot for HBCUs and he did that. And kind of, you know, going to disagree with Jay said a little bit. She said that, you know, we were bumped to big ESPN because of him. No, we weren't bumped to big ESPN because of him. We were bumped because it was a pandemic. It was spring and there was nothing else on TV. And ESPN had a slot for us. You know, that's why we were bumped to big ESPN. You know, if you guys don't remember, most of the SWAC games, we were the only thing going in the spring. Y'all know nothing really goes on in the spring. We were on ESPN and ESPN2 all the time. Now, when that regular season rolled back around, y'all know we were ESPN3, ESPN Plus, and sometimes you'll be on ESPN2. The Celebration Bowl will be on ESPN. But so we gotta, like I said, best wishes to him and Colorado. You know, I hope he does well, man. Like, I'm not gonna hate on him. I hope he does well. I hope he succeeds. There's not many of us that are coaching on the Power 5 level. I hope those people that have been with him for a while, I hope he brings them and does well with them. But SWAC was SWAC before him. The SWAC is gonna be SWAC after him, and go Bulldogs.
Now, I do want to kind of piggyback off that just a little. Now, one thing that I will say that has really upset me in its entire discourse is the commentary on the SWAC out with non-HBCU people. There was a general kind of thought out there that was basically saying, well, y'all should be grateful for what he did. And that's that. Be grateful. I mean, what more do you want? I think I really want people to realize that, yes, Coach Prime, you know, he brought eyes to the SWAC, and that's great. But the SWAC was great before he got here. The SWAC was great before he got here. The SWAC doesn't have to the SWAC's not in need of charity. It's not in need of, of course we can use money. We always use money, but I do want people that have, been putting their 2 cents in, that are not affiliated with HBCUs at all. I want them to get out of that mindset that the SWAC is less than, and we should just be grateful for anything that he's done, for the collective. So I want to make sure I get that out, that if you're listening to this and you're not HBCU affiliated, the SWAC will be okay. The SWAC is going to be okay. It's been okay for over 100 years.
And I'm sorry, Wayne. What Jay said reminded me of something I wanted to say as well. Like on my Facebook the other day, I told people that, like, hey, the people that kind of like what Jay's talking about, that went to Alabama, went to Auburn, went to Georgia, nothing wrong with that. Go to school that benefits you. But do us a favor, find an HBC that you like. And then, I'm not going to say, most of the time I don't promote Alabama State or anybody else. I just promote A&M. Put your money where your mouth is, do something for HBCU. You know, buy a ticket to a game just because. You don't have to come. Buy a ticket to a game. Go buy a shirt from a licensed paraphernalia store. Like, do that. Like, just do something for HBCU to show your support. Because most people that know me, I'm an Alabama fan, right? But my money and my support goes to Alabama A&M University. So I challenge people to find a school, find A&M, find Miles, find Tuskegee, find Alabama State. Just do something for them once a year, and I promise you it'll go a long way.
Yes, indeed. And, you know, I love everything you guys have said, and this will be my comments. So first and foremost, everybody that knows me really, really good, y'all know that I'm pretty well versed in these sports arenas. You know, I know like the history about, like I could tell you about what the Pac-12 is. I could tell you who's good, who's not good. You know, these guys were 1-11 last year. You know, they've had about 6 head coaches in the last 15 seasons. You know, they've been to 1 bowl game over the last 2 bowl games over the last 15 seasons. You know, so they're putting a lot of trust in Coach Prime. So some of the things that I just want to say, first off, there's a lot of blame that goes around both sides of this whole equation. And why do I say both sides? I say any side, actually. It's us, the people who basically propped him up and made him to be a savior, made him to be a Messiah. It's also the people who put their trust and thought that, hey, this guy is going to stay forever. It's also the fault of the president of Jackson State, because there's some news that's come out about how he wasn't paying Deion the amount of money that was in his contract. The SWAC commissioner has to own some of this blame, because after all this is taking place, you still haven't heard any comment that come from him. Now, I'm not trying to say that Commissioner McClellan is a bad guy. That's not what I'm trying to say, and you're not gonna twist my words like that. But what I'm saying is, we have not heard any statement that comes from the leader of this great league to put on a strong, united front. Now, everybody who's out here, you know, and you've heard all the stories. Some are true, some are not true. Some came from Deion's camp, some came from just people who are looking to get views. Because Lord knows there's been umpteen podcasts that people have put on, and they've said a whole lot of things looking to get views and capitalize on this. Now, he said, God told me to go to Jackson State. Now, I'm not going to get into what God said and what God didn't say, because that's between God and him. And it's easy for all of us to simply just say, well, how can God tell you to go to Jackson State, but then you turn around and you go to Colorado? We don't know, because that's Deion's walk. But what needs to be said right now at this point, amongst all the laughs and all of the memes and all of the people that have done all the I told you so, I could easily be in the position of I told you so. Because I said when he took over, I said this could either go horribly wrong or it could go extremely great. But at the end of the day, I had a feeling that if it went really, really well, he was going to get his opportunity to go to a higher level. So now that he's at this other place, I'm going to support him from the mere aspect of the fact that there are not very many black head coaches on the FBS level. That's the only reason why I'm going to support him. And I think it's a pretty doggone good reason to support him. In terms of the SWAC, the question has to be now is, where do we go from here? Many people, they put forth a lot of effort, a lot of money, a lot of time to go to these games. But one thing that I will say that Shannon Sharp said that a lot of people went off on him for, when he said that Deion, he gave the blueprint. Well, that's partly true. But if we really want to keep it real, the real blueprint that I want to make mention of is just look at how many people actually went to all of these games. It's no secret. Alabama State, they struggle with attendance. They had a sellout. We struggle with attendance. Last year, homecoming, we had a sellout. You know, all these different places where they went, people wanted to see the show. But the real question is how come it took Deion Sanders to come to the league for people to start selling out these stadiums? So if you really want to talk about a blueprint, the real blueprint is that it's been shown that it's possible that we as a people can truly come out and support. It shouldn't take a show. It shouldn't take a promotion. It should really be about the pride of your HBCU. The same pride that we say is a heritage, and the same pride that we come and we talk about how we've got this many Hall of Famers and this many people have played in the pros, where we talk about coaches like Eddie Robinson, W.C. Gordon, Marino Kasem. We talk about some of the great guys that sacrificed and labored in those fields for years on end. That's the kind of pride that has to be restored even right now. The pride that exists in me, exists in you, exists in T. Gooden, exists in Jay the Great, exists in Corey Williams, exists in every single person that's watching and listening to the sound of my voice right now. It's pride in you. So if you're going to continue to complain, that's your right. But I can tell you that it's dead air at this point. You can just get back up off of your little proverbial, get out of your feelings and get back up on that horse, man, and make a decision on what you're going to do for the future. Because the SWAC was the SWAC before Deion, and the SWAC is going to be the SWAC now that Deion ain't in it no more. So the real question now is, what are we going to do about it? I'm going to get right off of my soapbox, and I'm going to look right here at these comments, y'all. And as I look at these comments, T. Gooden, Jay the Great, any other thoughts you want to say?
Yeah, I just want to add, man, let's prove everybody wrong, man. Like you know what the people saying. Deion's gone, SWAC gonna go away. ESPN, they ain't gonna be on ESPN next year, which is a contract, so that's false. But you know what they're gonna say, man. Prove them wrong. Like homecoming should we have a lot of people at homecoming anyway. It's all like we prior to Deion, we always up in the 20,000 people range. But let's do that a lot. Let's not have low numbers other than homecoming. Let's prove people wrong. Support your school. Administrators, let's do your part. Like, do what you need to do. Like, because at the end of the day, we still got an uphill battle. Like, we got, Jackson State has the best facilities in the SWAC right now. Deion gone, those facilities aren't going anywhere. And you know that Jackson State wants to prove Deion wrong too. They're like, hey, he's left, so we gotta. They want to prove him wrong, so they're gonna go swinging. They trying to get the next big name. They want to keep it going. So we, Alabama A&M University, administration, students, and alumni, we got to do our part because I support my team, man. But I don't want to go. I don't want to have that record we had last year. Like I don't want to keep talking about what is we were so close and we did this. But it's a team effort. The team has to play well. The coaches have to coach well. The fans got to show up. The administration has to do their part. Everything has to be clicking on all cylinders. That's the only way a program is going to be great.
Yes, right. Jay, final thoughts?
Yes. Just kind of want to clarify something I said earlier. I wasn't saying that he was responsible for the deal. I was saying that he did his notoriety did get that particular game flexed up in that spring. Now, to go back to piggyback off of what T. Gooden just said again, prove the people wrong. It's a lot of people in this chat. So thank you so much for tuning in. Now, this is my challenge to everyone on this chat that's watching this stream. Once you get off this stream, I want everyone to donate at least $5 to A&M. That's your challenge. Donate $5 to A&M if you can do it by Friday. And to take it there, post it in our A&M groups. Hey, I donated $5.
Yes.
So, and again, $5, that's the difference
Show it
when,
off.
getting you a 4 for 4 from Wendy's plus tax. But if we just do a $5, it's a small challenge, but I'm challenging everyone that's watching this stream. If you watch it live or you're gonna watch it later on, just donate a quick $5 to A&M by Friday.
Hey, and that link is AAMU. I'm sorry, somebody said drop the link. It's AAMU.edu. If you're on your mobile device, if you tap the 3 dots on the top right, if you click on give is right there. Then you can scroll down and click give now, and then you can choose the organization you want to give to or which department. Sorry about that, Jay. I just want to answer.
Oh no, you're good. No, that's perfect. Yes. So that's your challenge. And once you do it, go into our private forums and say, hey, I donated my $5. So, and these are the things that we can do. Let's increase our donations. Let's, again, show up to the games. And then now when we show up, also be loud when you're there. It shouldn't be any parts of the game where our team is, trying to stop the opponents on 3rd down and the crowd is silent. You need to be loud, motivate your team, try to learn the game so you can follow. But yeah, we're going to be fine. We're going to be in a good position. I'm excited about, the future of A&M athletics, the future of our, new facility, upcoming seasons. I'm excited, and I want everyone to be as excited as we are. And then as you get excited, invite a friend. So, invite a friend. If you haven't been to a game outside of homecoming and classic, you come and you bring your friend too. Bring a friend.
Sounds great. So, go ahead.
Wayne, we gonna tell them now? Or we gonna wait?
Yeah, I was just getting ready to tell them. So
great.
We will be back next week at the same time, 8:00 Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. We do have we have a special guest who is going to join us next week, and you will find out who that person is next week. But I want to bring your attention to the show that is coming in 2 weeks' time from today, on the 20th. In 2 weeks' time, we will have none other than our newly installed athletic director, Dr. Paul Bryant, joining us live on this airwave.
Yep.
And when he's on here, this gives every single person the opportunity to ask all the questions that you so desire. Now, we're not going to be able to get to all the questions, but we will be allowing people to ask questions, and he will be gracious to answer the questions that he can provide an answer to. So yes, once again, in 2 weeks' time, Dr. Paul Bryant, the athletic director, will be joining us on this show. We will have a nice promo that'll go forward, but we're telling everybody this now because you need to spread the word. And everybody that be all on the sports forum, all on the class reunion page that either makes complaints or say, how come we don't do this? How come we don't do that? This is your opportunity to ask some questions.
And yeah, we man, like we're not playing, man. We're just trying to do everything for the school. Like we can talk and do all that stuff back and forth, but we trying to get the people that you want to talk to here. We want to get Dr. Bryant. We sent the email out to him. He replied immediately. So we're gonna have him on, and We're not stopping there. We're going to try to get as many people as we can on. The only reason we're able to do that, though, is because you guys watch and you guys talk about it. So please continue to do that. We really appreciate it, man. We really, really do. Yes. And before we get out of here, just one more time, as you see across the bottom, please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, as you're on the YouTube page and also Facebook, hit those like buttons, man. Like this and just boost us up. Tell all your friends, tell all fellow alums that haven't seen this show yet, get them involved. Let them know that we are moving forward, man. We are moving forward. This show is getting bigger and better every single week. So we will be back again next week. Yep. Same time. Same channel. Same channel. So for Mr. T. Gooden, Jay the Great, I'm Wild Wayne Cartwright. It's fun. It's you. It's us. It's From the Hill Podcast. Good night.